Our film begins with an author sitting in his office, writing a story. The story is about a family called the Baudelaire, consisting of a mother, father, and 3 children. The oldest child is named Violet, who is 14 years old and is a great inventor. The first thing you notice about her is that she ties her hair up. You immediately know that she is about to execute a new idea. Violet had a talent for repurposing old and neglected things into something useful. Her inventions were better received than her brother Klaus's. Klaus is the middle child in the Baudelaire family. He loves contemplation and books, or to put it more clearly, he loves the things he learns from books. Their family owned a large library in their mansion, filled with thousands of diverse and peculiar books. Klaus was happiest spending the 10 hours each day he dedicated to the library. And if you can see, Violet and Klaus are different from children their age. Allow me to introduce you to Sunny. Sunny is the youngest among them and has hobbies that are completely different from her siblings. She loved biting things, and she had only 4 teeth. But they were strong and helped her practice her hobby of biting anything. Sunny started speaking when she was 1 year old. True, her language consisted of unclear screams, but her siblings understood her and knew how to communicate with her. The 3 siblings enjoyed peace and warmth in their lives until the day they went for a walk on the beach and Mr. Poe, their father's lawyer, approached them with a sorrowful expression. He delivered the news that turned their lives into a nightmare. He informed them that a fire had broken out in their house, and everyone present, including their parents, had died. No one knew the cause of the fire, but the entire mansion had turned to ashes. The Baudelaire children suddenly became orphans, and if you haven't lost someone dear to you before, you will never understand their feelings. Mr. Poe takes them with him and informs them that they will live with someone named Olaf. Olaf is a distant relative they have never met before, and he will be their guardian until they reach the legal age. They arrive at the house, which looks beautiful from the outside but turns out to be the residence of Judge Strauss, and Olaf's house is in front of it. The house is old, spooky, and resembles Dracula's mansion. Sunny tells them in her language that it's better to sleep on the street. Mr. Poe is terrified as soon as he approaches the door. When they enter, they meet Olaf, who also resembles Dracula. Sunny becomes uneasy when she sees him. Olaf used to work as an actor, and his mannerisms were showy. He tried to appear kind in front of the lawyer, but it was evident that he was wicked, and his only goal was to obtain their inheritance. Mr. Poe hands over the children to Olaf and informs him that he is not yet their legal guardian, and the paperwork will be completed in a week. Mr. Poe leaves, and Olaf starts showing them around the house, which is full of cracks and on the verge of collapse. Klaus asks him about the last room, and Olaf warns them not to approach it because it's off limits. He takes them to their room and tells them to rest. The children are surprised because it's still daytime, and what's even stranger is that Olaf locks the door. The room is filled with dusty crates, and there is only one old mattress on the floor. Klaus doesn't want to rush to judge Olaf. He tells them that he didn't have enough time to prepare a proper room for them, but they will make do for now. He promises to bring them dinner later and leaves, locking the door behind him. Violet, Klaus, and Sunny look at each other, feeling uneasy about their situation. They know they need to be cautious around Olaf and figure out a way to escape his clutches. As the evening approaches, Olaf brings them a meager dinner consisting of stale bread and a small portion of soup. The children eat quietly, not daring to question or complain. After finishing their meal, they hear a loud crash coming from downstairs. They exchange worried glances, unsure of what is happening. Curiosity gets the better of them, and they decide to investigate. Quietly, they make their way down the creaking stairs and peek into the living room. There, they witness Olaf and his associates rummaging through their parents' belongings, clearly searching for something valuable. The children realize that Olaf's intentions are far from honorable. He is after their inheritance and will stop at nothing to get it. They know they must find a way to expose his true nature and escape his clutches. They retreat back to their room, their minds racing with thoughts of how to outsmart Olaf. Violet, being the resourceful and inventive one, suggests using their individual strengths to their advantage. Klaus, with his vast knowledge from reading countless books, can research and gather evidence against Olaf. Sunny, with her biting abilities, can help in unexpected ways. And Violet, with her knack for invention, can create gadgets and contraptions to aid their escape. The Baudelaire children vow to stick together, protect each other, and find a way to expose Olaf's true intentions. They know their journey will be filled with challenges, but they are determined to overcome them and seek justice for their parents. Little do they know, this is just the beginning of their unfortunate events. As the story unfolds, they will encounter various eccentric characters, face danger and deception, and unravel the secrets surrounding their family's tragic demise. And so, their journey begins, as the Baudelaire children navigate a treacherous path, always staying one step ahead of the cunning and malicious Count Olaf, in their quest for safety, truth, and a place they can truly call home. Monty was grateful, and Olaf was philosophizing in front of him, pretending to be Ibn Hayyan, and the children didn't know how to approach Monty to warn him. They tried to warn him in different ways, but he didn't understand. In the end, Olaf didn't give them a chance and kicked them out of their rooms. They expected him to kidnap them. When they tried to leave at night to warn Monty, Olaf blocked them at the door and prevented them. The next day, they discovered that Monty was killed, and their sadness was not only for their kind uncle but also because they had little hope of finding someone who loves them like he did. The doctor confirmed that Monty died from a viper's bite, and disguised Olaf confirmed to the police that he saw the viper killing Monty but couldn't save him. However, Violet confirmed to the police that the viper was innocent, just like the wolf who had no blood from the son of Jacob, and she told them that the person in front of them was not a botanist but the evil Olaf. However, the policeman didn't believe her. At that moment, Sonny approached the viper and started playing with it, and they realized that the viper was indeed friendly and didn't kill Monty. Then Olaf vanished and escaped before he could be captured. Mr. Poe couldn't believe that the one who was with them and killed Monty was Olaf, and he still thought that he was an Italian animal expert. The new guardian was someone named Josephine, and they had never heard of her before. Josephine was afraid of dealing with people, and her house was built on weak wooden stilts above the ocean, making it dangerous to be inside. She welcomed them and made it clear that they should enter the house slowly so that it doesn't collapse. It was evident that the house was dangerous and shook like Abdul Jalil's house in the series Naji Atala to avoid thinking too much. Josephine was skeptical and very cowardly, and despite the house being cold, she didn't light the heater because she was afraid of a fire that could damage the dishes. When Klaus went to the kitchen to get napkins, she warned him not to approach the refrigerator because she was afraid it might fall on him. It was clear that she was overly cautious and obsessed with cleanliness, the type that washes soap with soap. Sonny called her crazy, but she didn't understand her language. She gave them a large folder containing the house rules and told them to read it because the rules were essential to her. In addition to that, Aunt Josephine was very kind and friendly in dealing with them. One day she showed them her photo album, and they found out that she was very brave and used to go on trips all the time. She tamed lions and crocodiles, and her trauma came after her husband's death. She opened the window overlooking the ocean and consulted them about a cave location and told them that she and her husband were returning from it by boat when the sea creatures attacked them and ate him. Since then, Josephine isolated herself from people, and all her bravery turned into cowardice. Days passed until they managed to convince her to leave and go to the market. There, they encountered Olaf, but he was disguised as a sailor. It was clear that he had a lot of information about Josephine, and he used that information to manipulate her and try to show that they had many things in common. Klaus and Violet warned her that the person in front of her was the evil Olaf they told her about, but Olaf had disguised himself and trimmed his hair and beard. He even amputated his leg and replaced it with a wooden peg, fooling everyone around him. Desperate to uncover Olaf's true identity, the Baudelaire explained their suspicions to Sonny, who had grown into a resourceful toddler. Though hesitant at first, Sonny carefully observed Olaf's behavior and noticed a familiar glint of mischief in his eyes. She discreetly tugged on Violet's sleeve and murmured her findings. Violet and Klaus shared a knowing look and silently confirmed Sonny's astute observation. Realizing that their baby sister had uncovered the truth, Violet and Klaus devised a plan to expose Olaf's disguise. They approached Olaf, feigning ignorance, and engaged him in a conversation about his apparent transformation. Olaf, always relishing the opportunity to boast, eagerly explained the extent of his makeover. As he gloated, Klaus discreetly reached into his pocket and retrieved a small magnifying glass. Pretending to be fascinated, he handed it to Olaf, suggesting he take a closer look at his new wooden leg. Olaf, too arrogant to suspect any ulterior motive, obliged and bent down to examine his prosthetic limb. Meanwhile, Violet swiftly retrieved a nearby pair of scissors, concealed beneath a stack of books. With a deft hand, she snipped the strand of hair that connected Olaf's wig to his scalp, causing the disguise to unravel. Olaf, realizing he had been caught, leapt back in fury. The Baudelaire stood united, their resolve unshaken. Olaf, now exposed, revealed his true malevolence, vowing revenge on the orphans for unmasking him. Yet, the siblings were undeterred, prepared to face the villainous Olaf and protect each other through the perils that lay ahead. The judge asks Violet if she agrees to the marriage, and she is hesitant, but Olaf pulls out the wireless microphone, so she agrees. Klaus climbs up and pulls the cage inside, and as he tries to find the key, his attention is drawn to a device that focuses sunlight, pointing towards their house, and he realizes that Olaf is the one who burned it using this device. Suddenly, one of Olaf's followers appears and tries to stop Klaus, but he stumbles and falls. Violet was hesitant and scared while signing the marriage contract. But she proceeds. Then, Olaf receives a call from his henchman, and it is revealed that he didn't sign the contract and is trapped in Sunny's cage. At that moment, Violet ensures that her sister is safe and raises her voice. She tells the audience that Olaf is using the play and marrying her for her inheritance, and that she is forced and threatened that he will kill her sister. As usual, no one believes her. But Olaf surprises everyone and confirms her words. He tells them that now he has officially married Violet with a legal contract, and the judge is astonished, realizing that she has been deceived. Mr. Poe becomes angry and orders the police to arrest him, but Olaf has a legal contract, and the officer doesn't know what charges to arrest him on. Olaf tells them that they should have been more cautious, as he had warned them multiple times, but as they were just children, they didn't believe them. And now, he has a legal contract and the law on his side. In that moment, Klaus manages to use the heat concentration device and directs it towards the marriage contract, causing it to burn. When the audience sees the burned contract, they attack and pounce on Olaf, and he is arrested and brought to justice. Before being sentenced to life imprisonment, he is sentenced to suffer from the same dangers he caused to the children. From the collapsing house, to the sinking boat amidst the chaos, to the car on the train tracks, Olaf is sentenced and his story comes to an end, but as for the children, their journey is not yet clear. We see them with Mr. Poe on their way to the new Guardian, and he informs them that Olaf has escaped, but the police are searching for him and will catch him. But our brave heroes are not concerned about Olaf's escape or where they are heading because they have discovered that they are fortunate to have each other, and whatever comes next. Their unity is their strength, and they will face it together. And the movie concludes.